Are we live?
All right.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Perfect. Perfect. Hi, everyone. I am Pooja from AOH and super excited to have you all on a Sunday. Joining me here is Abhimanyu, and we're going to be talking about some pretty interesting things today. We have super exciting, I think, guest lineup for today. Two co-founders who are building something truly for the world from India, and I'm super excited to talk about a bunch of topics. Uh, we have a designer developer combo, which is also interesting and something I want to touch upon.
Yes.
But before going into all of that, Abhimanyu, let's start with you.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Nice to see you once again on a Sunday. I'm back again with my cold brew. I think at some point, Third Wave needs to start sponsoring us.
Got it.
Yay. So, looking forward to this very interesting conversation. We have the founders of Peerlist with us and looking forward to understanding how they built something from a small little side project to something that's gigantic and huge now. And yeah, let's dive right in and figure this out. All right, Akash and Yogini. Over to you,
Hello.
Pooja.
Hello. Hi, Akash. Hi, Yogini. Welcome to the live stream. Super excited to have you both here. A little bit of background. I think Peerlist has also been with us for a very long time. I mean, they have also we have done hackathon with them. I think sometime around last year. So, and they have as much as we support Peerlist, they have also been like early supporters of Favor. So I am personally like really excited to have them today here. How are you guys?
Cool. Doing great. Sunday afternoon, the most chill back time of the day of the week, I believe. So yeah, happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting us. I believe it's going to be great because I already said it will be absolutely unfiltered. So yeah,
Yay.
I'm excited.
And I think this is the first time I'm surrounded by lots of designers. Usually it's the other way around that Akash is the one person and there are lots of developers. So yeah, I'm pretty looking forward to this.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome. So like we are, I think Abhimanyu and I are two different personas here. Like if you want to see from a purely TG perspective, I am someone who has been a user of Peerlist for a very long time. I think it's been years.
Yeah.
One of the early users, if I remember. Abhimanyu, on the other
I
hand,
signed up 2 hours ago. I mean, I promised you on the prep call that I'll be signed up by the time we do this.
so
So I
yeah.
am now a user. I'm your latest user, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so I think the way we think about Peerlist is also like comes from two very different perspectives. So I think it'll be interesting to um, hear our questions also for a very different like standpoint. But today, people who are here on the live stream who don't know what Peerlist is, how would you introduce them to Peerlist?
Yeah, I mean, this question, like we have been answering for 4 years now. So, Peerless is a place for anyone who can build stuff. So, it's a professional network for builders, in short. If you build something, it could be a tool, it could be a side project, it could be a startup, it could be a company, it could be anything, hobby projects. And if you want to be surrounded by the like minded people who are also in the same boat, Peerless is the place where you can go and show off what you have been doing, learn from what others are doing, maybe learn from their mistakes, maybe share your own learnings and whatnot. So that is what Peerless is all about, which is now growing and being one of the coolest place for builders to to just share and show off.
I think show off is the really good word. I always highlight. So yeah.
So yeah. So
Perfect.
Awesome. That makes
like we always believed in like show and do tell, so that do tell part is more important. That is where you, because there is a lot of noise out there on the internet, and how you are going to tell people what you are working on, what you are building. So that's where Peerless comes in.
awesome. I'm gonna like throw a question right on top of that, right? Why did Peerless come into being? So you're telling me it's got this great grand vision, and there are a lot of users using it now, but where did it start? I know I said in the beginning it was a side project, so I would love to know, and would love for everyone else to know about that.
I think it started with my journey of looking for a job. so
Okay.
I have a very different background than usually developers have. So because of that, I had to work a lot on my side project to just show the companies that yes, I'm able to be a good developer. And that is when I started building my own portfolio. That okay, this is back in 2019, 1920. I'm talking about. So let me start building my portfolio. Let me be very online. Let me start writing blogs, show my work. I was doing a lot of things, and then I used to get messages on LinkedIn that are you just a front end developer? Because my LinkedIn profile used to say just that. Um,
Okay.
I used to get a lot of different questions, and I had to send 10 different links. No, I do this, I do that. I have lots of GitHub contributions. I am doing open source. Please go and check. And then I was on the mercy of recruiters whether they'll go and click on those links or not. So I was like, no, I want one portfolio where even if they just open it, they just click on one link, they'll be able to see everything that I'm doing online. But then the second question was how I bring traffic to my portfolio. And then I thought that, okay, this could be a problem which, if I'm facing, there must be people who are facing this. So, why not build a tool which can help you build resumes and build portfolios? So it was just a tool. Me being just a developer, it had crazy UI UX, which
Bad.
Akash,
You mean bad.
Akash totally
Okay.
doesn't.
You mean bad.
Uh,
Not crazy.
and one fine day, it was a lockdown, so Akash just took a look at my project and he was like, "No, let me help you with a better design."
Wow.
And being a product designer, my first thing was let's do a survey. Let's ask people what they think about this, and then we send it out to like 500 people. Out of that, 200 to 50 people actually responded, and they resonated with the problem which we were trying to solve. That there should be a place where they can show everything across the internet what they do, and that gave us a good validation that we validated the problem, and then we started building it just again for a fun, that we had no expectations that we want to make money out of it or even start a startup. That was a long shot. And when we started building, it was all fun. Like we were having fun because we were locked down. And then we realized that okay, we can work together as developer and designer as well. So and that's how it all started. We were just having fun building something as a side project.
Wow. Okay, so in my mind, I already have a picture about the two of you because we've met before, but I think a lot of people in the audience don't. You're saying designer developer combo, but you're also husband and wife, right? And right. So when you're talking about this story, when you're saying that all of this happened 2019, you guys were already married back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and so you were literally living in the same household, and that's where you're like, hey, you know what? Let's ask people what this feels like. Very interesting.
So I think for the first couple of years after getting married, we tried a lot of different things, and we were okay with okay, we are trying new things for a couple of months and then just leaving it altogether. So when we
Ah,
started working on Peerless, we were very sure that we will leave this as well in couple of months.
Yeah.
okay, okay.
The story goes way past that, like way behind it. Like we were
Yeah.
working, like we met while working on a project for a friend, right? And then
Okay.
we
Okay.
realized, okay, I think we have a good rapport because she don't say maza nahi aaya kind of feedback to my designs. I was like, okay, this is different, and I like that.
Okay.
And then we started working together on another couple of projects, and I was always, as a designer, you always have these ideas which you really want to build, but
Yeah.
at that time he was dependent on, there was no AI or vibe coding, right? You have to look for a
Mm,
developer who will work and code it for you. And I was like, this could be a good chance.
yeah.
Why?
So
uh,
you found vibe coding.
Yeah, I got
Very
wife.
fun.
Oh, this is a good one. So I got wife.
Yeah,
And that
wow,
all
very
started.
cool. Awesome. All right.
Love it. Yeah. I mean, so I think what you mentioned is you folks were already building together before you actually started working on Peerlist together, right?
We used to work for different customers or clients like as freelancers on very simple side projects, maybe landing
Hmm.
pages and all those things. Maybe, and it was also not frequent, maybe once in a quarter or twice, because we were also choosy about what we want to work, because again that was not for money or anything, it was just for fun, maybe friends and colleagues and like previous managers who were starting up.
And I
So
think
yeah.
having a stable job helped us do all these things because we were like,
Hmm.
okay, 9 to 5, we are working somewhere. Then just on weekends, we are solving these things, doing freelancing, etc.
I mean, the time we started Peerless, we were having really, really good jobs and we were happy with those jobs. It wasn't like we were sad and what is happening
Yeah.
with our lives and nothing like that. I was very happy with what I was working on. And so, yeah, but Peerless was started and it was difficult to build that conviction on the idea. So we took good amount of time, and there were other people who got attached with Peerless, like our angel investors, Akshay and Vishwesh. They also gave us help us build a lot of conviction around this idea and us as first time founders.
Yeah. So, I mean, since you already had a very, nice job, nice cushy job, and you were building Pure List on the side, it must have been very tough, to make that call that, okay, now this has gone from being a side project to now we have to take it like more seriously and actually build it. What was that like? At what point, I mean, you folks decided to do
So
that
honestly,
also?
when the thought first came into the mind that okay, we may have to leave the job, that happened when we were talking with the angel investors. And they were like, guys, we are putting down our money. You have to at least leave your job, which is fair.
Yeah.
But building that conviction is the toughest part. And that is when I ran my own experiment and
Interesting.
get the conviction out of the decision. So when we got the offer that okay, this is the investment that is going to happen for Peerlist. But the conditions were we will get 50% of the money when I leave the job, and we will get the next 50% when Akash leaves the job. So the deal was pretty clear that okay, we have to leave the job and do this full time. But then I was like, what if this doesn't work? What we will do? Will I be still hireable? And to get that conviction, I thought that okay, let's do one thing. Let's have a couple of weeks as a period. I'll start applying for a job left and right. I'll try if I can crack one offer in these couple of weeks, I'll just leave my job. And that is how I started. I started applying to any job that I see, and I actually cracked an offer within 2 weeks. The day I got the offer, I resigned from my previous job. I said no to that offer, and I said yes to the investors. That okay, we are doing this full time. So that is how we built the conviction. At
Yeah.
least I built the conviction.
And then when we told this story to our investors that this is what we did, they're like, like you're crazy. Like why you did that? We'll make sure that you get a job in our companies or in our network. Like you don't have to do that. But again, like we being again validating, you have to validate everything. And in our
Yeah.
situation, it was not same as others because we were married co-founders and we both have to leave jobs.
Yeah.
So there was not like if I leave my job and my spouse is earning, so I'm okay. Like house is taken care of. Then we had to do a lot of like how much is our personal runway, right? If we don't get paid, how many months we can live without changing our lifestyle. We did not want to go on ramen, right? Directly. That is not how it works. We want to have and maintain our lifestyle, which was there. Then we did calculations, how many savings you have. That time I realized how much she saves and invests. And then we calculated everything and we were like, okay, fine. We have at least 12 to 18 months of runway, personal runway, where we can survive without salaries. And yeah, that's how there were these things which we did to build that conviction of living and going full time because it was a big leap of faith.
Hmm.
and we did that. I think in October Yogini left, and then in December I left and joined full time Peerlist, and it's been
But
3 years now.
I think the credit is also due to our that time employers, because
Hmm.
Hmm.
we were pretty transparent with them that we are building this on site. I think both of our managers knew that what we are doing,
Yeah,
and when this thought of leaving our jobs, we also talked to them very openly that, see, this is what we are doing. What if it doesn't work? And we had that job security from their side
their
as
side
well.
as well.
So literally my company says that you can just go do it full time. If something goes wrong, we'll be happy to get you back. So that security helps you a lot to take this decision, especially.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
it was now we think it feels easy, but that time it was extremely difficult, and there were lots of things which built this conviction, and it was fun. It was, and we are still like, there are no regrets even now that we did that.
Amazing, amazing. Did you run an experiment yourself, Akash, to leave the job?
So what happened? Like I went on a like I pinged my manager. I told he used to he is Kiwi. He lives in New Zealand, and I got on call with him, and I was like, "Hey, look, we need to talk." And he was like, "Yeah, I also wanted to talk to you." I said, "Okay, let's get on a call." And he was like, but hear me out first. I am resigning. I have resigned. I am leaving the job, and you will get promoted. I was like, wait, what? Because I wanted to resign. I wanted to leave the job. What we are talking? He was, and I told him, and he was like, don't even put your papers right now. Let me go first, and then
Oh.
you. I was like, this is a very
Wow.
difficult situation. And he left, and then I had conversation with his manager, like my
Ah,
manager's manager, because then he
right.
was in charge. And I talked to him, and he was like, you are going to leave your big bonus, you are going to leave your promotion and the increment and everything. Do you really think that you want to leave all of that and go full time on an idea, which is
Right.
so? I was like, yeah, absolutely. I want to go because I have an angel investor who is investing. I have a personal runway. Yogini left her job, and I have to do this. And our conversation ended with my manager's manager investing in our company. So
Wow.
Oh,
that's how. So he invested, and he invested double what angels were investing. So,
Amazing.
and
Wow.
he also showed the conviction in me
Of course.
as his subordinate, and that was like amazing feeling that. And we still talk, and he still always ping me. You know what? I found this, I found that, and I know if
Amazing.
something goes wrong, I am going to knock his door, and he is going to get me a job. So I think, yeah, that's how you mitigate the risk, and things
Nice.
become
Nice.
more easy to take this decision. It's not that difficult otherwise.
yeah.
That's amazing that you had all this support.
Yeah.
Love sharing that.
Yeah, I think this is actually often not talked about. When you're starting, it's very scary to start something from nothing. You don't know if the idea will work, if things will go as you have imagined. There's a lot of like uncertainties, and there's a good chance it will not work out. Because if you just look at the
Yeah.
data, so it's really important to have this support of community, people around you who are your well wishers, who are giving you the right kind of advice. So like it's really great that you had that, when you were starting, people who were around you, you support, like you were surrounded with people who actually believed in you, as an individual and your idea. I think that has a lot to do, with the initial start, and leaving everything behind to sort of start completely new, with a lot of like anxiety, fear, but also a whole lot of hope and optimism. So I mean, that's great that you managed to have a community of like this kind of people
Yeah.
around you.
I think
you know
that's where your
yeah,
network comes into picture, right? That is what
yeah.
we built. Like we built our network over past 5-10 years, and that is enough. Like that supports you, that gives you that conviction, and the stronger your network and warm your network is, that becomes your unfair advantage of taking these bets. Otherwise,
Nice.
it's difficult.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, when we talk about startups, right? it looks very fancy, it looks very glamorous, all sunshine and roses. We raised funds, we did this, we did that. But hearing this side from you, and this is a story of almost all new founders, right? All people who start, they go through this phase. Everyone goes through this phase, and it's not actually like not all days are like super exciting. It can be this high to this low. You always keep, and I'm sure like even now there are days where you're like super excited one day, like really dull one day. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I've seen like people go through all that journey. So and you folks live together, so you talk about like you eat, breathe, sleep pure list. I'm assuming like after work, before work, during work, how do you manage it, like all of this information overload?
I think I think it's easier being married with this,
Yeah.
because we both don't have to explain each other why we are happy, why we are sad, why we are anxious, right? We both are on the same page all the time, so that is super helpful
Yeah.
in a way. Yes, it just messes up your work life balance and all the boundaries. But I haven't met a founder who have a work life balance.
Yeah.
So ultimately you have to be okay with it, though I'm not promoting not having work life balance, but that is the reality that you have to live with, right? So
I think when we started, it was a mutually agreed that we might not have date nights and we might not go to our friends' weddings and functions and everything. We were extremely clear about it that
yeah.
there is this binary thing, 1 or 0. There is nothing in between at all when you are getting into startups. As you said, it's all looks rosy, and we have romanticized startups and entrepreneurship, which is true. But in our case, I think we made it our strength that we are married. It's our absolute strength. Otherwise, I don't think I am absolutely intolerable to other people, or if there is another co-founder except Yogini, or even she. Like,
Yeah.
she is extremely hard to work with. Our
Nice.
engineers will tell you. Even I can tell you, like, her, she's very direct and she's very transparent. She's very like, whatever she have in her mind, she will just pick it out. And I think that we made that our strength, and we have absolute no regret or any complaints that we have to eat, sleep, drink, Peerlist. We are enjoying it. If she is not happy, I know what happened. If she is upset, I know what happened. If she is nervous, I know that server is not behaving the way it should. So I think
Nice.
it works out. It works out really, really well for us.
I
Yeah,
love that you've
that's
embraced
really
it. Like
sweet
you've gone
actually.
to the other side of the spectrum of work life balance. You're like, hey, there doesn't need to be a distinction. We are
Yeah.
doing this together,
Yeah.
and like you rightly said, you don't have to explain to each other.
Yeah.
I wonder, in normal companies there is usually an escalation matrix. Hey, the engineer didn't do this, and the designer did this. What is your escalation matrix? Where is that going? Is it your parent-in-laws who are then sort of
I think the best part is, so I think we always have a co-founder conflict, but it never escalate to the level that it is going on for hours. It is just like max is 15 minutes that we fight.
wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful?
I remember we do have arguments on Slack. Like, we sit beside each other, just like this in the
Okay.
office. And we have these arguments on Slack. And then when it
Wow.
goes, like, we know that now it is becoming hitting up. Now it is hitting up. We're like, let's get in the room. And then we go in
Nice,
the room, and then we
nice.
talk it out and we discuss it. And then, uh, and if we agree, we agree. If we don't agree, we're like, okay, let's not discuss it here.
Yeah.
Let's sleep over it and let's talk
Yeah.
it when we are in the car on the way home. And then
Oh,
most of the
nice.
conversations which we have, like, our end of, like, how we conclude our days while going back from office to home in the car, and we discuss everything, like what happened
Nice.
today. And then in the morning also same thing happens. Like, we discuss what we are going to do today. This is what I have in my mind. This is what you think you should do right away, and all those things. We even made hiring decisions, like, we need this role to be filled, and then we were like, okay, fine, and we were
Nice.
traffic
So our
jam.
travel time is
So
mostly our daily syncs.
so I think this works. Like, you have to make things, like, which make this thing your strength, and that is what I
Lovely.
think unintentionally it happened, honestly.
Yeah, it
That's
learned
awesome.
with the
Yeah.
time. So
Huh.
Wait, how long is your commute time? Where is your office? Where is your home location wise?
Are you asking how long is the
Yeah, how
stand up?
long is the stand up, right?
Like what?
Exactly.
so usually it takes us like somewhere in between 20 to 30
Yeah.
minutes. So that's a very
Okay,
sweet spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's nice. That's nice. The Bangalore, mein, that's probably a blessing. So that's very nice.
No, no, it's
They are
Is
based
in
out of Pune,
Pune,
right. I
the
remember now. Yes. Ah,
um,
completely forgot about that.
and
Hmm.
we also
yeah, they are
like we also start very early, like 8:30 everybody is in the
yeah.
office, and then by 5 everybody leaves, so no
Yes.
one gets stuck
Oh,
in
nice.
traffic. And
Eh,
then once we go home, then after a couple of hours we get online again if we have to finish up something like deployments or something like that. So it works.
All right. And how many is this
Hmm.
everybody? What does the team look like right now? How big are you guys? You said
Yeah.
it's 3 years, right? Since you started.
Yeah, so it was just we two when we started. Then we
Yeah.
hired one person, and now we are like team of 7 people.
Yeah.
It's been almost
So
three
what?
years with a team of 7 people.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
7.
Yeah.
You've always been.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many, what are the roles? Like, what does the team look like?
All are designers and developers.
So 4 engineers, 2
Okay.
designers,
5 engineers, 2
5
designers.
no, 4 engineers, 2 designers, and 1 Gaurav, right?
Wait, what's Gaurav? What's this role?
So he recently got hired for as
So
a
we are
social
8
media and
people.
marketing. Oh, we are 8 people now. We are 8 people.
Love
Sorry.
it. Okay. Helping you discover things about your own company on this live stream. Loving
So
it.
very recently, like it's been just this month, we hired
Awesome.
one person to take care of marketing. So now we are 8
Lovely.
people with one marketing person, one intern, 4 engineers, and 2 designers.
Including us.
Yeah,
Amazing.
including me.
Amazing. Amazing.
But
Yeah,
damn.
talking about marketing. I love that you're discovering things live here.
If your team is watching today,
Yeah.
they will understand.
No, there's no, because now we are into like there are like a lot of work which is happening right
So
now.
we are in a
So
war room at the
we're in
moment.
war room at the moment.
Very cool.
I
Yeah.
see.
So they'll see this post live. But yeah, I think talking about marketing, we had a
Yeah.
question around that as well, Pooja. Right?
Yeah, I mean, what I have seen on Twitter specifically, people talking about the SEO of Peerlist when they publish projects, it ranks like it shows up on the Google page. So talk more about that. Tell us more about that.
I think when we started Peerlist, we had zero idea about what SEO is, should we optimize for it. And whatever we did during that time was literally anti SEO things, everything. First couple of months into Peerless, we realized that this is the big mistake that we're doing. And we had to literally migrate our tech stack, make the whole lot of changes. We had 1 month of development hold, and we were just doing the migrations, etc. But that is when the actual SEO game turned on, and from then till now we are just we every month we have some plans and everything done for the SEO to make it right. uh, how
I
to fight spam, SEO spam,
Hmm.
and everything around that. So
So for people who don't know, tell us
Okay.
what SEO
So it's
is.
simple search engine optimization. Like whatever content you have, you want it to be discovered by people very easily, to relevant people. And now, like Google should show you or your link or your website when they search something. For example, if somebody is looking for uh, can there be a project which takes screenshots and beautify it? So there are many projects which got launched on Peerlist. They should show up, and we have to optimize, do certain things that they get ranked there. So that is SEO. But now we are also focusing on AIO, which is artificial engine, like AI
Oh,
search engine optimization. That is also because we get a good traffic from ChatGPT, Perplexity,
yeah.
Claude, all of that. So we also working on that, and that is working out for us. And SEO, we always treated it as a feature of Peerlist. right? So we when we started, we had no distribution. How people should know about Peerlist, how they should discover it, and we just thought like that. Like if I go on Google and if I find something or try to search something, I should get Peerlist for this particular thing, and we just optimize it for that.
And so, how it started is that if I'm searching for my name on Google,
Hmm.
um, I will see my LinkedIn, my GitHub, my Twitter, all these social medias, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for us, the competition were we are
Hmm.
dealing with these people, which are very huge and have a very good domain ranking, has very good
Mm.
authority and everything. So we have to fight against them, and if we have to fight against them, we have to make it every check mark ticked that yes, this is taken care of, this is taken care of, and that is when actually we started doing this, and now it is building up. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I think now Pooja was talking about this earlier when we were discussing, but you guys apparently have a good personal branding thing going on as well online places. How is that sort of playing into how Peerlist is growing, evolving?
I think for us, it's more of we just being honest and we're just trying to be there. And that is how Peerlist also, we did marketing for Peerlist and acquisition, user acquisition for Peerlist through that.
Hmm.
That we were sharing what we're doing, what we're building.
Ah.
People are
Mhm.
really interested into how you design this, how you build this. I think we realized this when Yogini wrote a blog about our migration and it went viral. Like
Okay.
people like sharing in their Slack channels and all. And we thought, okay, if this is interesting, we should keep doing it. Like we should share what we are doing, our experiences, because there are many people who would love to know what happens behind the curtain, right?
Yeah.
So
I think we're going to drop your Twitter handles and whatnot here somewhere in the live streams for people to again follow you and pick up some of those things.
but yeah,
Um,
having a very
yeah.
strong personal brand do help what you're building, because people start believing in what you're building just because they can relate to you, can associate with you a lot. So
Hmm.
glad that we started before this all X things changed, and before the AI and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Before Twitter became X and AI got into the picture. But that's
Yeah.
interesting. This is the first. I mean, I
But
should have thought of AI
yeah,
optimization as like SEO's, new avatar. But is it? I mean, without going into details, but is it a completely different beast altogether? Are similar principles applying to it when you go from SEO to the other piece?
I think it's different. It's a little bit different. You have to be honest in this. You cannot
Hmm.
trick AI. If you are honest with your approach, like why
Nice.
this thing is more important and relevant, that is enough. You don't have to do buy backlinks and go here and there and talk about your stuff. You don't have to do that. AI is smart enough to do the citation, and it is getting smarter and smarter, and I think it is going to help a lot of people who are doing organic, who want organic reach, who are not trying to game the system, and that is amazing.
So you can consider AI engine optimization or answer engine optimization as extension over SEO. Um,
Hmm.
it is not like exactly an alternative to SEO, but for SEO you need a lot of base things to be
Hmm.
ready. With
Hmm.
AIO, you can just every new person can even start optimizing themselves for that, and they can still win the race
Hmm.
against these big giants. So,
Yeah.
Very
SEO also
interesting.
takes time. AIO is like very easy. You do something today and you might see the result tomorrow. So it
Wow.
is pretty fast.
Very, very interesting to know. I'm sure I'll be doing more. I don't know if I'll be doing Googling, but something perplexitying or chat GPTing later. All right, Pooja.
yeah. I want to touch more on the personal branding side because I initially discovered Peerless through Akash, right? That's how I discovered it. So, was this personal branding also a strategy that was like by design? You wanted to have a solid, personal branding out there so that people know who you are, what Peerless is. Is that by design or strategy?
I think it was unintentional. Uh,
Fun fact,
Okay.
Akash had more than 20,000 Twitter followers back in 2014.
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
so when I started knowing Akash, I got very fascinated, and this was my first question. Dude, you have 24,000 with your photos. Like, what the heck? So yeah,
What kind of
Yeah.
content were
What were
you
you
doing
posting
around
back
that
then?
time?
I had a blog called designerdada.com. I used to have that
Nice.
blog. Yeah.
Hmm.
And it used to get traffic of around 100K users every month. And I used to
Oh
make
wow.
good amount of money out of it. And it was all about that time Bootstrap, Foundation, all these frameworks were in like in picture.
But
And
the
I
thing,
used
yeah.
to build a lot of do designs and then do build templates and sell them, and then also a lot of CSS animations and then tips and tricks and all that. I was a front end engineer first. I was HTML, CSS, JavaScript coder. That's how I started, and then I became product designer.
Oh,
And
nice.
while doing that, I realized that I have to be active on Twitter, and then there was Stumble Upon, and there were a lot of things. So I learned how I distribute my content online and where I should find the targeted users who are like who will buy or who will engage with my content, and that's how it started. So that's why I was very active on Twitter and all other socials. But again, Twitter was very intentional even back then. Like you will find really good people who are really talented, and that's how I started. And it's always been my understanding that you just have to be really honest with what you're sharing. Don't try to be an a-hole on internet because it bites you back. Very be nice. It's a small word. Don't do plagiarism. Don't say bad things and all those things, because it's a very small word. And uh, I understood that while building Peerlist, because lots of big people whom we got opportunity to talk with were observing us on internet, right?
yeah.
They were looking at what we are writing, what we are talking, what we are saying, how we are saying, how we interact with people. And we also got this feedback from one of the investors that whatever you share is interesting. You don't talk about your peer list always and all this. So I was like, oh God, okay, people do judge you from what you do on online. So I think, yeah.
Wow. That's very fascinating. The dots sort of connect at some point, and you realize that you did the right things. Awesome. I think I wanted like understand this a little more. So when we started talking about Peerlist, we said Yogini wanted to create a portfolio, and now we are talking about people like literally creating their own things, products, building things, right? So how did Peerlist evolve from that to that? There is this constant comparison to LinkedIn, but it sounds like it's very different. So I want you to touch upon that. And when did you guys started getting compared to LinkedIn? At some point, I think that's an interesting point I'd like to know.
When we started, we never wanted to be called as. Whenever somebody says you are a LinkedIn alternative, we're like, don't embarrass us, please. Like that cannot be the thing. We cannot do that. But
Okay.
then when we met, like when we talked to Dharmesh, who is our biggest investor, and then when we talked to a lot of people, I think people themselves, like the community themselves, started comparing us with LinkedIn, and they said that this is a LinkedIn alternative for sure. If it
Hmm.
grows in a certain way, and if you have that vision, and if you just stick to that vision and keep building things. And I think that's what we did, and somehow we become LinkedIn alternative for builders and people who actually work and not just like say things.
Say things,
uh,
yeah.
so that's how it become different, and also it helped us to position us well, like what we are
Okay.
this. When somebody and we did this uh, I was observing in a meetup that somebody asked me what Peerless is, and somebody said they're LinkedIn alternative, and I was like, okay. And the other person was, oh, okay, nice, this is good, interesting. And I was like, this can be the thing. Like we don't have to struggle to position ourselves like what we are. It becomes very
Interesting.
clear in somebody's mind. It set correct expectations, and we thought, okay, this gives us a lot of clarity in what we want to be. So that's how it became the LinkedIn alternative thing.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I think what we built, it kept on evolving from
Uh,
being just a portfolio people used to message us, okay, I have my portfolio, I have to reach out to other people. How should I do that? Then we realized, okay, we
Hmm.
need an inbox or a messaging feature. I have so many things to share. How can I share it? Do we have a feed? So that is how everything started. We started adding things and it started connecting the dots. Uh,
Hmm.
that slowly became alternative to LinkedIn. But yeah, when we started, it was never a thought that can we be an alternative to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And what's the scale
I
difference?
mean, yeah,
Sorry, go ahead, Pooja.
good. No,
What's the scale
no,
difference between you
same
guys?
question.
Like, what does Peerless look like size wise? What is LinkedIn size wise? For people who
Oh,
know.
so let's not like. So we went to SF for the
Yeah,
first time, and we
yeah,
went to this market street area, which is the
yeah.
center area of SF.
Hmm.
And we were just walking, and we saw that there is this huge black, humongous mammoth building, and it had a LinkedIn logo. And we were standing in front of it, and we were looking at each other like, what the hell? Like, look at this building only. Like,
Yeah.
and we're like, what we're doing? Like, this is going to be crazy hard because we have to fight with these people, and
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
not. And it was like, then we felt nice after that. We're like, fine, this is amazing. This is going to be challenging. We're on the street
Yeah.
right now, and this is this, and it hypothetically also, or even literally also, it is like this big LinkedIn which has
Yeah.
700, 800 million users and 900 or a billion, I don't know exactly, but and then
Hmm.
we have this small startup that who has 150K 160K users right now. How we
Amazing.
gonna deal with this? But I think, and we were thinking the same thing while going back. uh, we were discussing this, that okay, LinkedIn is so huge
Hmm.
that can afford not to solve certain problems,
Wow.
and then we're like,
Wow.
that's exactly what we are going to solve.
Nice. Very
And
nice.
that becomes our differentiator. And I think when that thing clicked, and we're like, let's do it, let's go ahead and let's keep building what we're doing. So yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. This was back when in your journey? I think you said you guys started 2019. When were you looking at this,
Oh,
staring
this,
at
this
this?
happened in 23, because that
That's
time
good.
we
That's
went
good.
to SF for the first time.
Hmm. Awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool. Pooja, you had a question. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, as we were talking about LinkedIn, I also realized that Peerlist has come out to become a platform where people actually actively
Yeah.
launch their
Yeah.
projects, you know. So in that way, it's also fair to compare it
Yeah.
with Product Hunt. You
Hmm.
know, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Um, so, even this project Launchpad is an internal side project of Peerlist.
Yeah.
Okay.
um, on a portfolio, on a profile, Peerless profile, you had an ability to add your project. And that was a feature which was very less used. And that is when we thought that, okay, why not, just start showcasing projects from people. Whoever have added, good project, and ask people to upvote so that they'll go and check each other's projects. So can we do that? That was just an idea. We had like 1 week of cool off time at Peerlist while building, and we thought that okay, during the school off, why not build us some cool feature as a side project and just ship it. That's it. That was just like literally we gave this much of thought to that feature. We shipped it, and we saw like for first year we were just allowing 50 projects to showcase, and it used to be 1 month long. But then during that 1 year, we started getting a lot of messages that I missed this spot. Can I get more? It's very unfortunate that you are opening only 50 slots because the SEO is very good. Can we get featured, etc. And that is when we thought that okay, maybe month is too long. Can we make it a weekly thing? And during this whole transition, Product Hunt was never in mind. In fact,
Mm.
even we launched a couple of times on Product Hunt.
Yeah.
So I honestly admire both the products a lot, like LinkedIn or Product Hunt.
Yeah.
Learned a lot from their network effects and everything.
Mm.
So when Launchpad became weekly thing, we never had this thing that okay, Product Hunt is for the products, big products like ChatGPT, but Peerless is for people who are building side projects. That is how everything got started. But then we started seeing that okay, people are getting serious, things are getting serious, and it went really organically from being a launchpad for side projects to being a full-fledged product, which people are now calling it as a product hunt alternative. So honestly, being a LinkedIn alternative or being a product hunt alternative was really not our choice.
Yeah.
It started happening very organically.
Even before that, it was Spotlight. It wasn't Launchpad. We used to call it Spotlight so that we can spotlight these few projects which Peerless users are building. How we can make sure that they get first 50 users or 100 users and get traffic. And that's when we thought, okay, let's make it something like that. And we built Spotlight. We ran it for a year. And another thing, like, we started getting new. This become our acquisition channel as well, because people started sharing their projects and come and support my project, and we started getting new users. I was like doubling down on that, and then it became Launchpad. And initially it was for side projects, like if you are building some small projects or something like that, you can launch them, because on Product Hunt, if you go and launch, there are all the startups and marketers sitting for an entire 24 hours with their 20, 30, 50 or 100K mailing list, and spamming people all over the
Yeah.
Twitter to go
Wow.
and promote their projects. We thought there is a lot of noise for at least the small builders who are indie hackers who want to get that. They don't want to sell like $10,000
Hmm.
in a day. They just want 100 people to look at their project and give them some feedback.
Yeah.
And again, like when you are big, you try and you afford to not solve certain problem, and we were going and solving those problems. And that's what this problem for indie hackers and small project builders we trying to solve with Launchpad, that you launch
Very
it,
cool.
you get at least 100 users looking at your project and give you some feedback and talk to you, that early validation, which was
Right.
missing for us earlier. But then we thought, okay, why not do something like that? And now it become like, now YC companies are launching on Launchpad. Now there are good companies who are very early and who want to get some early feedback from developers and builders, who, and not the consumers, they are not their target users, they are also builders, but they want to get feedback from them. So that's where Launchpad comes in.
Awesome. We actually have someone in the audience who is an early user of Launchpad, and he's like really proud of it there
Oh
in
yeah,
the chat.
Abhishek.
Okay, so here's a question, right? So when I think of LinkedIn, I know you said you admire them a lot, right? But here's what I'm doing on LinkedIn. I'm either looking at someone's 3-year work anniversary, wishing them a birthday,
Yeah.
um, or maybe at some point looking for a job, or learning about what they learned after having a cup of coffee at a certain place. So I'm assuming that's not what people are doing on Peerlist, and that is something I remember you were saying you're actively trying to not have that cringe content show up on Peerlist as well. Tell me a little bit about that. What's going on there?
I think so. There are a couple of things. Initially, we had zero way of monitoring the content when this peerless scroll and the feed started. But we realized that one thing very sure, that having a smaller community than LinkedIn has also good
Advantage.
advantages, because you have a community policing, I would say. So when we used to see, when people used to come on Peerless for the first time, coming from the LinkedIn's background, post a selfie with some content, there were comments behind below that post that, hey, you are on Peerless, this won't work here.
Yeah.
We started
Very
community
cool.
uh, asking other people not to behave in certain way,
Hmm.
they being very good about it, and in a very friendly manner. So that is when we realized that, okay, this is the change that we need to do. So people actually who are the users of Peerlist are also on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Even we
Yeah.
both are on LinkedIn, right? But
Right.
there's a stark difference in the way they'll use Peerlist and they'll use LinkedIn. Why? Because the community is shaped that way. Ultimately, we started adding more content moderation, more spam filtering, etc., and that helped the platform stay sane. But I think yes, community being actively monitoring the platform is more of a I would give more credit to that than anything
So
else.
there is this herd mentality kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
behave in a certain way, the way people around you behaves, right? Like if we go to US or somewhere else, we will never throw a
Yeah.
garbage or something, right? Because
Yeah.
there you won't see anything out there, so they don't do that. So same happens with on Peerless. Like they don't see any
Hmm.
garbage out there, so they don't put any garbage out there. right?
Hmm.
They just self moderate themselves that, you know what, I should not be doing this here, I should not say something here. And that is self moderated community which is on Peerlist. And even
Nice.
now we don't have to do very active moderation,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
you should
Yeah,
probably just call that feature peer pressure.
yeah, exactly. You're giving a banger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So uh,
Awesome.
so it's all self moderated, and we love that. And
Lovely.
that is how it is. Even we have like, wow, 55 weekly active users. You won't see, yeah,
55,000.
55,000, sorry,
Yeah.
55,000 uh,
We're
users.
obviously talking about, yeah, thousands and all. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So
Yeah.
we don't see much spam, which is
That's
good.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you see LinkedIn taking inspiration from you guys on anything?
They did with the workplace verification, which we, because
Oh,
we launched workplace verification 3 years ago,
okay. Okay.
three 3 years before, and after a year or so they launched workplace verification and all that. And like, oh, nice. I like that.
Are you in touch with any designers, engineers from LinkedIn also, by the way, just because you guys are in the same space and all that?
They know we exist.
Uh,
I
They just don't know what
love
we
that.
are right now, maybe.
Okay.
so we have talked a couple of
Love
times,
that.
but it was
Yeah.
not like it was just a very casual,
Yeah.
developer to developer or designer to developer.
Love that. Love that. Pooja, go for your question.
Yeah, I mean, as we're talking about LinkedIn versus Peerlist, one thing I realized from LinkedIn and what Abhimanyu was mentioning as well, right? You see a lot of different kind of post, I think, which ultimately incentivize. Like, I think LinkedIn as a platform really incentivize for engagement, like likes, comments, share, all of that. So, how have you shaped the reward mechanism for Peerlist? Like, what is the incentive ultimately for Peerlist folks?
This is a great question because we spent good amount of time solving that challenge. When you are building a consumer social, it's extremely difficult to reward people for their time. And when people come on Peerlist, the first is they see people who talk their own like same language as they do. That is one big thing. Then there is second thing is whatever they are building, they get the engagement and the distribution for or the validation of what they are building. That's a big thing. When they launch something, they get their first 100 users or 50 users. When they, and most importantly, you start building network. I remember one of the user was building something. He shared something about it, and he got reached out by a company like engineering manager. He got a job after that, and then he sent 5,000 rupees Amazon coupon to us, and he was like, "Coffee on me for this month."
Wow.
And that was the best feeling we ever had, right? I still remember that moment, and that is how Peerless adds value when incentivized. Many a times it also happened because we get sometimes people compare us directly with LinkedIn, like they're like, I should get a job on Peerless. I said, no, you won't get, sorry, we don't promise you that. We do promise you that you will get a platform where you can manufacture your own luck by sharing and talking about what you work, what is your work and how you are capable of. Show your proof of work. Don't just say things that won't work. And even after that, you don't get a job. I think you might change. You might need to change your approach. So we just give you a place, a platform where you can just do things, and it might work for you.
So I think incentivization in terms of users, we have seen people getting their first 4 5 paid customers through Peerlist, first feedback, investors reaching out to them after launching their projects, getting job, finding right people. So there are so many other incentives apart from going behind the likes and comments and all of these things. We honestly do not punish users when they are sharing some link to their projects or some external links, because we genuinely want to share a piece of pie that yes, our platform will thrive only when you get the value out of it, and that would be a real value, not the vanity metrics of getting likes and shares.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
I think it also helps when, because Peerlist has such a dense community of builders,
Yeah.
themselves, they're builders, founders. So you know who you are targeting when you are sharing your work on Peerlist. So I think that really helps, because I think when we're talking about such a large base from
Mm.
LinkedIn, you actually don't know who is going to end up seeing your work. It's relevant, it's not relevant. You really don't know
Yeah.
what's like. It's a big question mark there.
Yeah.
So that way, Peerlist really helps, and I think with the features that you have, like the launch pad that you have, Spotlight, and now what do you call it now?
Launchpad.
It's
Yeah.
Launchpad now.
That's
Right?
Launchpad. Yeah.
So it all aligns with what you're saying, like show don't tell,
Yeah.
right? So, and I think when people are looking to hire folks, because this happened, and I shared this screenshot with Akash, I think 2 years ago, that hey, look, my people from my company are actually looking at Peerlist to hire engineers, and I shared a screenshot with them, with Akash.
Yeah.
And this was like way back, when Peerlist was not as evolved as it is today. So now it's actually even smarter, or it's even easier to find like good developers, good people, if
Hmm.
we're actually seriously hiring, uh, and do all of that. So I think that way it really helps if you want to build a very strong network of people like you, builders like you. Yeah. So yeah, I
Hmm.
think that's also an advantage in itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I have a quick question. And like I said, I joined Peerless 2 hours before I started this, right? What I loved straight away, as soon as I created, firstly, I used, sign in with Google, step one complete. Do you want to pull your data from LinkedIn? I'm like, hell yeah, please go ahead and do it. And the next screen I see is it says your profile's 70% complete. I'm like, wow, I've already accomplished something on this platform. So I want to ask you, from an experience point of view, Akash, from your end, what are some like attention to detail? Everyone keeps throwing around this word. What are some things like how are you working and doing these? And then I also want to ask Yogini, from your point of view, I mean, I know when we look at front end engineers working and doing things like they're doing some layouts, moving things around. What are you doing some interesting engineering things behind the scenes which we don't know about, which for us might be like upar se ja raha hai thing, right? So, a question for each of you there.
I think we have been working on onboarding every month, like like you said, right? You remembered your onboarding. That
Yeah.
did not happen in just like that. We have been working on that every day, every week, every month, because if somebody has a wow moment in first 5 minutes of onboarding, they are going to stay, and then they will make a perception around that product. And it is extremely important for a product like Peerlist, which is a consumer social, because it has to have a personality of its own. And how we going to create that? We created that by few things. One is attention to details, which is high level, and then doing small interactions, how we are writing error messages, how we are writing the copy, how we are making sure if somebody uh, so we have this one message which gets screenshotted and shared all over a lot many times. When you try to get a username and if you put a special character, we just say like you are already so special, why a special character in a username? And they
Nice.
are, okay, fine, you're giving me an error, but you're not making me feel bad, but you're making me feel nice,
Nice.
right? And these were the small things and attention to detail which we put, and we both were on the same page while doing that. Otherwise, most of the time, or I am not blaming, but engineers want to like move fast functionality wise,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but there is this change. Or even Yogini as a engineer, she is more of a product engineer than just an engineer. She also thinks,
Nice.
spends a lot of time on understanding how we're gonna make it, because see, speed of your performance of your app is also an experience.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I'll
Absolutely.
even if we start talking about this, we will need a whole another 2 hours of, one API response has changed or moved a lot of metrics for us. The
Yeah.
time of API response in milliseconds, if we move certain things in a certain
Hmm.
way, how that much has increased the way people are interacting. So lots of things, and it keeps on improving. But yes, these are the attention to details which have always rewarded us a lot, and that is why people talk a lot about UI UX or SEO, because these are all the attention to all the minor things that we have
You,
spent time on.
because of this AI and vibe coding and all, you will see a lot of crap getting out. And
Hmm.
want to stand out of it, you have to focus on these tiny details, like attention to details, and this make sure your layout is perfect,
Yeah.
make sure your typographics good, make sure like how you make users feel with product. Nowadays, when products launch, they are already a lot polished. The definition of
Yeah.
MVP has changed
Of
uh,
course.
completely. You cannot, because even now people are spending around 30-40% of their time on the internet, maybe on laptops or mobile or something like that, and they are always consuming really well designed made products. And if you
True.
say that, you know what, this is my MVP, but it is a little crappy, if the fonts are not getting applied, they're like, I don't care, like
Yeah.
I really don't. People perceive products in the way how they looks. People do judge books from their covers. It's a fact, and I accept that.
Yes. Yeah.
And I will definitely spend premium if the product looks good, because if
Hmm.
it is well designed, it gives you that assurance that it creates that confidence in user. It
Yeah.
creates that, you know what, I am given very well attention, and I will give that to you as well, as a consumer, as a user, as a customer. And that is what I think, and people are realizing it,
That's
honestly.
nice.
Trade
Yeah.
and the other companies started focusing on that, like how you build trust with design. Razorpay, Urban
Absolutely.
Company, all these Swiggy, Zomato, all these companies focused how, because otherwise earlier, when very clearly remember, people in, at least in India,
Yeah.
they were not, even consumers, they were okay with sluggish designs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're okay with like IRCTC design,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
SDR.
it will fine. But
Yeah.
many of the founders were like, you know what, Indian consumers don't care about design. And,
Right. Right.
and when Swiggy, Zomato told you a different story, people were like, okay, fine. Consumers do care about design. They feel nice. They might not care, but
Absolutely.
they at least feel nice about it. So
Absolutely.
there were many companies like Tiny Owl and whatnot, which were the food delivery, but Swiggy and Zomato went out
Really
and
went. Yeah.
did something like IPO'd, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and
Awesome.
that is exactly what we put into Peerlist as well. Like
Yeah.
we are not okay with pushing out pixels. We are not okay
That's
with
amazing.
unfinished stuff. So yeah,
That's amazing. I said this on the previous live stream as well. A designer is only as good as the engineer they're working with. So I'm really happy to know that you
Always.
have this partnership that care about those minute details,
Yes.
and that's how you produce these results. So
absolutely.
that's awesome. All right, Yogini, tell us something you love to geek about when you are doing your work. Because I remember when we were discussing, you almost I'm forgetting what it was, but there was something Einstein level you were talking about that you were working,
Really?
some mathematics or something you were doing behind the scenes.
Right, right, right. Okay. No, so we recently started doing this, training this recommendation engine of our own.
Yeah.
Because till now, even now, if you see live Peerless, it's just very, there is no, not very in-depth recommendation that goes behind
Mhm.
Peerless, on the at least feed that is there. But I think couple of months ago we started doing this, that okay, no, lots of people are now coming, talking about their stuff, and not every stuff is relevant to each other. So we have to, add something which can recommend a better content for the people. And that is when I started working on this recommendation engine, which is right now under training. But yeah, it will be soon started rolling out to other people, and they'll start seeing better recommendations. So these are the moments when I realize that okay, there are very small things which you do not consider much, but has a lot of impact on how user behaves or how things are. I've learned a lot about human psychology doing this, building this recommendation engine. That okay, how so I used to feel that the recommendation engine or something which a content gets recommended, it's more of what I like, right? But
Hmm.
it's more of like if there are two person who are similar, what they like has more impact on the type of content that a person likes. So lots of insights around this, even insights around how API calls and showing the loader in a certain way can actually make people think differently about your platform. So
Hmm.
have done this experiment on loaders a lot, that
Nice.
which will, so there are certain, APIs or certain stuff where you cannot really improve the speed of the API.
Sure.
There are some engineering challenges or whatever, you have the
Hmm.
uh, so during
Constraints.
that
Yeah.
time, what we actually did was just play around with the loaders, and it actually, people started feeling that, oh, did you guys make something to Peerless? It feels faster now. And it was exactly the same
Okay.
API timing, same things, just the loader making the difference. So these are the small things which you put in engineering, which you put your engineer hat or developer hat, and when you
Nice.
think of tweaking certain things, and that makes the user experience better.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I remember an episode from this podcast called 99% Invisible, which was all about loaders and progress indicators and stuff like that. That
Yeah.
context was about how government was doing something and all of that stuff and to show people progress. But I totally understand where you're coming from.
This also reminds me of this elevator story. Have you folks heard of it? So when people would go from some floor to different floor, they'd feel like the elevator is pretty slow. So what they did, instead of increasing the speed of elevator, is put mirrors
Yeah.
in the elevator. And
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
that solved the problem.
Yeah.
So it reminded me very much of that. But also one takeaway that I have right now is ABO from Peerlist, which is always be optimizing, because I think the level of details you folks go to even after launch and after release of feature to constantly optimize it and make it better is commendable, to be very honest.
Yeah. Many a times people, it's like your design is all about communicating something to other people, right?
Yeah.
And there are some engineering constraints, there are a lot of other things, and design is something which can solve most of those problems. And optimizing every day, like many a times people say this is so nice, purely so well designed. I said it took us a lot of time. It's not like we launched it and it happened. There are a lot of optimization happening from engineering side, from design side as well. But also at the same time, if even after doing a lot of things, it
Hmm.
doesn't work, we also don't get attached to it and we kill it right away. That is
Yes.
another story,
Mm.
right? So yeah, that's also a thing.
Yeah, so
Talk
tell us
about
more.
that, right?
Yeah.
Huh. The killing part. I think I was mentioning to Pooja that Yogini was talking about a Diwali cleaning that happens
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Peerlist.
It's on
Yes,
the way. It's on the
yes,
way.
yes.
What is
We
that? What is that about?
actually have this. So I think a couple of years back, we talked to the founder of Innovator, and he told me a really good story that they have this tradition where every December they just go and check which features are less used or which features are no longer useful, and they'll go and delete it. They'll delete it from the code base, they'll delete it from the design, because having a lighter product means you have to keep on developing new features, but you also need to clean up the features that are getting not used or unused. And I think we started doing this tradition from last 3 years now, that every Diwali, whenever, so there are not all the people in office, not
Yeah.
everyone can work in a sync, everyone has different timelines. So during that time, we just do this Diwali cleanup kind of a thing, where we
Nice.
just go through everything which is unused, which people cannot, are not going or using much, engaging much. Can we just go and clean that up? Can we just remove all these features? What happens if we remove it silently? So it first goes behind the feature flag. It just vanishes from Peerlist. We
Okay.
considered it for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks or a month, that are there people mentioning about that feature? Are there people who are missing that particular thing? And
Right.
if it goes down, then we just remove it from the code base, or we'll remove it from the design and everything.
Wonderful.
So in the first time we did that was little difficult because you get attached to what you build.
Hmm.
I think yes. Now it has been that, okay, this is how things work.
It's a practice. Yeah. And that's how you manage tech debt, design debt, all of that, right?
Yeah, we become ruthless with these things. Then I think
That's
we
very
learned
nice.
that really early.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you have to be ruthless with prioritization and don't get attached with your features. It's okay
Hmm.
to kill them. and
Yeah.
it will save you a lot of time and energy.
Right, right. What you choose not to do is equally as important as what you choose to do. So totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. All right.
I
Before,
have-
yeah, go
no,
for it,
sorry,
Pooja.
I have one question before that. Um, but what this also means is you work with a lot of data, to get insights on what's working, what is not working. So can you share your light
That's a good
more
one.
light on that? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think Yogini is the person who will talk about it because she makes sure that all the events are getting added to every click,
Mm,
uh, and we get to understand what is happening behind the
yeah.
curtain.
No, I monitor data a lot. Like if I don't get to monitor data, I feel
Annoyed.
I get annoyed when someone miss an event or someone do not add the certain things which I want the way.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think data, when you look at data, you understand a lot of thing about users. I have seen people saying different thing and using the feature exactly the other way. So these are the
Right.
stories because I have read a lot about how Netflix came up with the layout and everything. That gave me the idea that okay, no, whatever we are doing, we have to keep on monitoring. So just to give you a very small idea, there is this thing called staff picked project of the day. So because the launchpad is for a week long, so we pick the internal team pick 6 projects and we feature
Feature
them for a
them.
day, which is called a staff picked. So we added this widget on the scroll on the right hand side top right corner, and we saw that this widget it got very good amount of clicks initially for the first couple of weeks, and then we started that okay, people are getting used to that widget. They are not clicking or they are not checking the featured project of the day. So now, even if I change the project today is a different project, tomorrow is a different project, but they will think that
Mm,
okay, this is maybe the same project, and they won't click on that. So
right.
the easiest thing to do was to change the color every day,
Yeah.
because then
Okay.
they notice that okay, something has changed. Let me
Yeah.
look whether it is, and it was just a simple trick that worked, and you can see that the
Like
pattern of
coming back.
clicks is almost same. And this all this insight comes from monitoring the data a lot, understanding what users are doing, how much you want the conversion on certain things. So yeah, I think this is just one of example that we do a lot
Data
of
don't
things.
lie, right? Data
Yeah.
don't lie. You will, I most of the time while also prioritizing features and prioritizing things, data helps you to make those
Yes.
decisions, informed decisions, and also build conviction. There were few features which we were not convinced about, but we're like, okay, fine, let's data says so, let's try and do it, and it worked.
Yeah.
And so it really built us conviction and confidence of building those things or to kill things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, loved it. And I actually work with data a lot. I'm also data obsessed. Uh,
Nice.
so it's really important. It's like hard, when you combine two things, when you're talking to users, when you get user feedback, you see how they are using your platform. Plus, when you combine that with the data that you're looking at, it makes like you get like really solid insights. Uh, yeah,
But I also have like one thing as a product designer, which is
Yeah.
when we have certain, like if I built my conviction, then I go and design stuff, and then we show it and test it internally how it feels like. Then we again make improve it, and don't try to get I don't try to get too much into data and maybe like dilute my intuition as designers, because
yeah,
Mm,
I I try to keep my designer sanity intact
Mhm.
instead of designing like a scientist, because
yeah,
that works. And then once the feature is live, and then again go into data and then figure out whether it is working or not. As Yogini said, we realize that people are not clicking. Then as a designer, we start changing color every day. People start
mm, mm.
clicking on it again. So yeah, don't lose your like design
sanity. Yeah,
instincts,
Hmm,
uh,
hmm.
which you build over a period of time, right? So
that's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, so I'm going to touch upon this, and I'm just curious. Like, I'm a big accessibility nerd myself, so I am curious. Like, are you doing something interesting accessibility wise on the platform? Would love to know.
Not proactively, I'll be very honest,
Hmm.
because but we make sure that these things are like compatible,
Yeah.
and compliant with accessibility most of the time.
Cool.
uh, Being a very very small team, it becomes sometimes slows us down. Or
Understood.
do we really have users who really care about or who
Yeah.
need that level of accessibility at
Right.
that point? Maybe once we hit 1 million users, we might have a dedicated designer or engineer who will be just focusing
Yeah.
on that,
But
right?
I
Awesome.
think that we do have a
But
very basic accessibility
yes,
checks in place.
yes,
Yeah.
That yeah, because also it affects SEO. So
yes.
Oh yeah, right. That's
Yeah.
that aspect. Yeah, because I just went like when I got in, I just tabbed through all of your links and it went through in a very logical order and stuff like that, right? So I could see there are some elements that you're definitely thinking about.
So there is this basic SOP of reviewing the PRs also, right? While
Understood.
engineering doing that. So all these things gets taken care of. Have we added click events or events so that we can track? Have we optimized like on-page technical SEO is correct or not? Where we are
Hmm.
using H3, H1, how we are linking those things,
Right. Right.
all those things taken care
the
of during
tab
the
index, click
tab index,
events, and
click it.
everything.
So everything taken care of in the PR reviews. So engineers
Amazing.
are now trained to, and this became their like muscle memory of doing
It's
things.
way of working. Correct. Correct.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Lovely to know that that's happening, and
Yeah.
that's essentially how you do it. So
Yeah.
awesome. All right. So, no 2025 conversation can be complete without talking about AI. So,
Yeah.
let's let's talk about what AI is doing in the life of Peerlist. Are you doing something interesting with it? Planning to go on?
I think it has given us a lot of benefits as a community of builders, because earlier, like 2 years ago, only designers or developers used to build things. Now everyone can build things, right?
Hmm.
So everyone is a builder, is irrespective of what their job title says. Product managers can go and just wipe code an app or an MVP to show it to their team as an early proof of concept, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes they just come to Peerless and launch it and then get validations out of it. So our TAM increased like 10x after the
Wow.
AI, right?
Okay.
And we
Okay.
are so well positioned to be a professional network of builders because now everyone is builder. So
Nice. Nice.
I
And are
think,
you guys using it yourself to like do something within the product, improve the product somehow
yeah,
in design, engineering, any of those things?
I think yeah, I think AI is a very very integral part of all the development cycles.
yeah,
Uh,
Hmm.
I, our code editors, we have some of the code written by AI. We have AI PR reviewer, so it helps a lot to move fast. We
Nice.
have AI to document, to run the unit test and everything. So it
Oh
helps
wow.
us to move fast a lot. I think it has given all of us the superpower of even you are a small team, you can ship crazily and insanely with insane
Wow.
speed. So yeah, that is where the AI
mm,
is coming into picture. Even if there are certain things which you cannot understand, AI is there to help you figure that out. So I think I don't think any team is there right now who are not using AI.
Yeah.
Uh, at least I would love to believe that.
What
It
That's
has
very nice.
purpose.
Yeah. What
Hmm.
about design? Like, is there anything specific, like specific parts where you're using AI in your design workflow?
I think copywriting is something, because I have a personal project created and I have certain prompt and instructions already given to it so that it can persist the tone which we want for Peerlist, and it has entire context of Peerlist copywriting, right? Like
Yeah.
we talk
Yeah.
how Peerless as a brand communicates, and what should be the way of saying, how punchy, how casual, how professional. And it is all like now the project or like custom GPT is well trained, and we use that for writing copy, and it's designer's responsibility for copywriting at Peerless because it is
Right.
also experience uh, itself. So that's where we are using it. And now because Figma is becoming so crazy, now we have Figma
Yep.
Make and all those things. So even for I remember a couple of days ago we wanted a SVG animated loader. So
Yeah.
Jay, who is another designer, who designed it in Figma and just gave it to Figma Make, and he just got the code and he just gave it to the engineer.
Wow.
Engineer was like, "What the hell? What's happening?" Like, he wasn't expecting that. So
Yeah.
we're just trying to be more productive and effective
And
and faster.
I think with especially with terms of animations that so we
Hmm.
have really amazing streaks feature in when there are beautiful animations that we have used. All of that are powered by AI. So
Yeah. So designers, like
Interesting.
we are every day we are just focused on figuring out what can be the next cool thing. So yeah.
right.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, let's switch gears to maybe just talk about since you mentioned like there's 7 people on the team. If you ever, or 8 people rather, we just learned that as we were.
Yeah.
But if you're increasing, right, as you're adding people, what is it that you're looking for in the people that are joining your team? What are the kind of skills or the talent, or how do you assess that? Okay, I should bring this person on board.
So I always look for three things when I'm hiring a person.
Hmm.
So one is attention to detail. How much particular that person is about something. It could be anything. I'm fine with it, but
Okay.
it could be something that where they are extremely particular or they want certain things to be in a certain way.
Hmm.
So that is one thing which I always look forward to. Second is how quickly you can learn, because I think it's okay to not have certain skills, but you should have the ability to learn, catch up, and understand what is required and when. So that is
Nice.
second. And third, I always look for the extreme ownership, that okay,
Mm.
if this is something which is on me, you don't have to think twice or check twice that whether it is done or not. I'll make sure it is done. So
I think,
Love that.
and on top of that, one thing which I always look for is obsession about something.
yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
You as a person, it's not about designer, engineer, or anybody. You as a person should be obsessed with something. Like we have one engineer who is obsessed with biryani,
Mm.
who understands,
Okay.
who knows where you will get a nice one, bad one, ignore this. This is must try. There is Jay who is absolutely obsessed with music, right? Rap music or whatever that is. I don't understand most of the time. Then there is Ajinkya who is obsessed with something. Then there is Ankit who is obsessed with spirituality, right? And
Nice.
there are people who you must be obsessed with something, at least one thing. It could be photography, drawing, designing, coding, a certain animation, or whatever that is, food, traveling, anything.
Yeah.
Because then those people understand how much efforts it needs to make things, like how mad you have to be to take care of that thing, right? And
Lovely.
that is, if you have that, I think it becomes, at least I look at that thing. So yeah.
Love it. I love these 4 things. They're very on point, and I love that you know what you're looking for. Great.
Yeah.
I was hoping that one of the criterias would be that you should have an account of on Peerlist. That you can apply with your Peerlist profile, but
I think that goes without saying,
Yeah.
because you can apply to Peerless without Peerless profile, like
yeah,
Awesome.
but okay, but like hypothetically,
like just one thing, which is like whenever we hired people, they were already on Peerless and we were already observing them.
Oh, there you go.
It was
The
another.
behind the scenes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very interesting.
be nice on the internet, be nice on Peerlist.
Yeah.
Two things we have learned today, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's say let's look at an hypothetical situation, right? If you were not building Peerlist, right, or if you have moved on from Peerlist, and if you have to join a new company, and there are like certain learnings you can take away from building Peerlist, what would those like lessons look like?
Oh my God, I'm so unhireable right now. Uh,
But let's say you were starting something else, and you're gonna get a new you're gonna set up a new team there. What is something you've learned as part of building Peerless that you want to take with you?
Wow. I have same time I have so many things to say and nothing to say.
Yeah.
Like, very points. But yeah, I think again I'll fall back to having attention to details and being obsessed with data, because that has helped me a lot, and
Hmm.
saying no to nothing. Uh,
Saying
yes.
no to nothing.
Yes. So,
Elaborate.
because I think whatever I have learned in past 4 years of building Peerless, that is because every challenge that came in front of me, I had to
Hmm.
say yes. I was not given a choice, and that is how I learned. So,
Understood.
when we are doing a job, or when you are working for something else, you may have a very small piece of thing to take care of, and even if you become choosy in that, you are literally killing the opportunities of
Hmm.
learning new things. So because while building Peerless, that became an option, that wasn't a choice for me to say no.
Hmm.
I learned a lot of things, and that is what will be the one learning I'll always have.
Yeah, I
Cool.
think for me there are like two things. One is uh, build really really good personal connections with people. It's always helpful. Because I mean I really want to. I think we did that and we got access to so many amazing people because of that. That is one.
Nice.
Or like we have this. We met Sunny, who lives in Bangalore. He is in engineering manager. Or I think head of VP of engineering in Geo Cinema. Whenever we are in Bangalore, he spends a lot of time with us, and he chauffeurs us around, and
Okay.
he has nothing to do. Like why he would do that for us, right?
Yeah.
Is because we have that non-transactional connections with people, right? And you should always maintain and build those, and that is what I have learned while building Peerless. And because at very critical time those connections helped us a lot, right? That is one thing. And I think another thing is be nice. I think
Mhm.
it's all it's a very general thing.
So,
uh,
Yeah.
Even when we go to a new company, just be nice. And the third thing and last thing is decision making, and it is always should be binary. There is no maybe, it's always yes or no. That helps you move fast, that keeps your brain like clean, and you
I
don't
like
have
that.
like it helps you close threads, right? So from since morning we have somebody needs our time and they want something from us, we just go like, okay, yes or no, like okay, we will talk, or we don't talk, I'm not interested into this. This might sounds rude sometimes, but that helps you also, and that also don't waste somebody else's time. If we want to talk to you, like be on this session, it was yes, and it was like, okay, let's go ahead, whatever you want, we'll do it. And otherwise if it is no, then it's a no. And we learned this from, I think, Dharmesh, that take your decisions in binary, yes or
I
no.
love that.
Lots of
Superb.
lessons today. I'm loving the session so far. So
Yeah. Be nice is the highlight though of the whole thing, I think.
Yes, it doesn't cost you much, but it will cost you
Yeah.
a lot if you don't. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. All
perfect.
right.
I mean, this is a good time, like we got a lot of questions from the audience, and we want to cover some of those. So I will. There is a lot of question on LinkedIn versus Peerless, but I think we have already covered that, so I'll not touch those. Uh, but there is one that says how AI tools help in my hiring process. I'm not sure what
for
what POV they're looking for, but yeah.
I think for Peerless, we do not use AI much in hiring.
Hmm.
Uh, so, firstly, it's like very rarely we have hired, right? I mean, because we are a small team, and so we have a very high retention. So that's why we have hired at least in the last 1 or 2 years, we have hired just for 2 or 3 roles.
Yeah.
And whenever we have hired whatever the applications that we got, we took time to manually go and read all the applications throughout. So so yeah, AI haven't helped us in
I
this much.
I strongly believe like hiring is a very human process.
Yes.
Make connections, make good, like meet new people, go to meetups or whatever that is, whatever you want to do. But it's all about, it's a very humanized process. So obviously at larger companies where you have thousands of applications coming in, uh, you have to go through AI and all those things. But
Yeah.
um, if you want to work in startups, I think just go talk to people, ask them nicely, and it might work out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to meetups like the ones AOH organizes. Just
Yes.
plug
Absolutely.
right there in.
Thanks, Abhimanyu.
Yeah.
There is one question. What is your vision with Peerlist? Like, where do you see Peerlist 10 years from now?
10 years, we do have like, we have decided to give it 10 years for sure.
Nice.
The vision is basically, as you said, we just want to increase the frequency of those wow moments which people has, like they are getting job, they are getting 100 customers and all those things. We just want it to happen every day and to a lot of people. That's our vision. Like, it
So
just make give people bigger opportunities, nice things in their life, and it should, like, people should say, because of Peerless this happened to me.
I think make a platform where you can really make genuine connections, because
Huh.
so honestly, Twitter has been one of that place for me, for Akash. We have made a lot of good friends, which we can call good friends now. We met through Twitter. So I think I want to do the same exact same experience, that have a platform, have a place where people can literally make genuine connections, genuine network, and they can work professionally, they can understand each other better professionally. So yeah, one place for that.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's a very interesting question, which I mean, you may or may not choose to answer, but what if LinkedIn comes tomorrow knocking on your door for an acquisition? What are some non negotiables in that case? In that.
I knew Abhishek would be that person. uh,
So it's not that we never, I mean,
Yeah.
not from LinkedIn, but we had reached out by few people for the acquisition. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that is something which we want to leave it for the moment, that whenever that offer,
Mm.
what exactly is in the thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't think we have ever given it a thought, or even that thing crossed our mind.
it's a distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think about it.
For now, you're like, banane to do yaar. Like,
Obviously, yeah, after certain.
nice. Awesome.
Interesting.
Awesome.
There's one question I think it's specifically for Yogini. How to be good at writing clean and efficient code? Like for everything else, there are a lot of tutorials, but after working since 1 year as a software dev, my code quality is not that good.
Okay. So you can write better, whether you want to write a blog or code or anything, when you read a lot.
Hmm.
So I think give a lot of input to your brain, read a lot of code. How you read a lot of code is just go on GitHub, search for random repositories, and start reading code. You can start finding the mistakes which others are doing. You can start finding some interesting patterns which others are doing, and that is how you learn. That is one. And second, write a lot of code. You have to like literally do more than 2,000 contributions a year on GitHub to make, to call yourself a better developer.
And be honest with that approach, man. I mean, just don't go
Hmm.
for 2000 contributions or commits. Just be honest with that, I think. And I see Yogini read a lot of code every day, because like all the engineers who push the code, and we push hell lot of code every,
Hmm.
and Yogini just go through all of that. And
Even
I cannot sit beside her when she's doing PR reviews, because she scrolls so fast, and then I'm like, I'm having motion sickness. I don't do that. I just go through all of that, and then
No, so
so
even this is true for AI written code. So it's not like I don't. I'm a
Hmm.
very heavy user of cursor. I do, while coding. AI writes a lot of code for me, but I always make sure that whatever is written by AI, I'm literally reading it line by line. And if I want to do any changes, I can do that changes. So yeah, that is one thing I think.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
cool.
So consume and then create, right? Consume
Yeah.
and
Yes.
I think that applies on the design side of things as well, right? A lot of conversations like, how do I become better as a visual designer, for example? Consume and create, right?
Yeah, train your eyes. Train your eyes.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Awesome. What's another question? Do we have another question?
we do. Okay, there's one last one. It's a long one. I see you are not only shipping features consistently, but also building a strong presence on social media. With such a small team, how do you balance the focus between product development and content and community building?
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
think I think this happened very organically. If I had to start doing all the three things together, I would not be able to. But because Peerless started gradually, we were slowly shipping features. That time we were also active on social media. We were speaking our minds. So because of that, because everything happened gradually, we were also able to train ourselves to do that. Now we have people to help us out. I and with time, with work catching up, I'm also a little slower on social media side these days. So yeah, it's not like we are 100% there, but because things happen slowly and you start catching up time with here and there along with the people, so I think that helps a lot.
Also, this is the YC advice, which is do things that don't scale. So this is what we do. We learn that thing first. It could be like social media management or marketing or creating distribution or all those things. We both personally get involved into it. We do that thing first by ourselves. Then we try to refine it and make it a nice process. Okay, now this is good. And then we bring somebody who can repeat that process now. Like they just have a
Awesome. Yeah.
things already done, they don't have to figure it out. For example, for Peerlist Twitter account, we built a certain personality to it, like how it talks, behaves, and says things. Now the another person who is into marketing, now they just have to go through all the tweets, what we write and not, and just repeat that. So now,
Hmm, hmm.
so I think, and we also want to learn new things.
Yeah.
I mean, I love doing figuring out, digging into new things. Yogini love to go into different territory and learn things. So it also helps us.
Nice. Amazing. All right. So I think we're done with all the questions, and we've been talking for the past hour and a half now. I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys are tired as well. So as we close this, I think just one last question. What is something in the immediate future for Peerlist? Is there an interesting feature you want to talk about? Something you want to let people know before we close this?
I think right now, from product side, from Peerless product side, it is a lot about how our system is going to support the scale. Because now we are saying that because
Hmm.
we are growing and as we are scaling in terms of design as well, in terms of engineering side as well, how we are going to support this, and
Hmm.
all these problems are new to us. So we're just figuring out a lot of things. Then there is making Peerless smarter, because we
Hmm.
cannot always like it is self moderated right now for sure, but we are working on content moderation and recommendation and all those things. So that has been the big thing in front of us. Don't want to build anything a completely new feature or something. We just want to optimize what we have right now, what is working. We are just doubling down on those things.
Right. And what's Autosend?
Oh yeah.
So I see it at the bottom, and I was joking with Pooja. It's probably like a Namayatri competitor who sends autos to you, but it's probably not what it is.
I wish that was the case. I would have been a millionaire. But again, like this was another problem which we had of sending because we send around a million emails every month, right? And we were using a tool called SendGrid
Hmm.
for that, and we were not happy with it.
So
So
Autosend is something that we have been planning, or I wanted to build personally an email tool from past couple of years
Nice.
to
Okay.
solve the pain point of SendGrid that we are facing. And I think couple of months ago, that pain point reached a threshold where we decided that okay,
enough is
enough
enough.
is enough. We cannot really use SendGrid. So can we build a solution internally for Peerlist to support and start sending a million emails a month? Because that's a good scale
Wow.
to be in. So we built that internal tool. Internally, we started calling it Autosend for no reason, just to have cool names for the internal tools. Uh,
Sure.
and then while talking about it to other people, they were facing the same issues, and they were like, why not make it public? So even we are planning to make it open source,
Yeah.
and open for others, but because this is just being part of Autosend, being an internal tool, it worked really well for us. So why not share it with public?
Yeah,
Amazing.
Autosend was not the first name. It was also Yomail.
Okay. Okay. Literally cool names then. Yeah.
So it was in Yogini's head. But yeah,
I love
it
it.
now we're just productizing it
Yeah.
and make sure that other people can use it. and eventually we will open source it. That's what we want.
Awesome. All right. So I think that covers a lot of ground. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on a Sunday afternoon and taking us through your journey of Peerlist. I'm hoping a lot of people learned a lot of things. I myself learned a lot of things about building something from nothing and getting it to a really good place.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Thank you
thank
so much, Pooja and Abhimanyu. I think AOH is the one of the first communities I got exposed to when we were starting Peerlist, of course, and we got to host some meetups of AOH in Pune in our office.
you.
Got to meet there and be part of AOH meetups in Bangalore even. Love what you guys are building, even as a community. It's really really cool. So yeah, thank you for inviting us today.
And also, like, when people get attached to a community like AOH without incentives, that's something
Yeah.
like there is no other things which you expect. I think that's a uh, kudos to that. I think Pooja, you folks have been doing a great job. We met Pooja in Bangalore
yeah,
a year or two before, and she came in to help us with the Peerlist missile meetup. And she was all in. She was like, "Ah, missile, we'll get this from there and there." And I'm like, "Oh, this is so cool." So yeah, thanks a lot for that as well, because yeah, you also folks help us a lot.
Yeah.
definitely. It's all Pooja and all the volunteers who are working. I am just showing up for
Not,
doing this live stream with them.
no, it's all of us. It's all of us, really.
Yeah.
But like, I loved our conversation today. There was some really great things because I have been seeing Peerlist. I've been using Peerlist as a user, but it was really interesting to hear the journey and like all the things behind the scenes on how you folks are building. You know what's happening, the challenges, everything. So really, thank you for taking out the time today. We hope you, like all of you, has had as much fun as we did. You know,
Yeah.
and so like I hope they enjoyed this conversation, and we're always cheering for Playlist. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So much. And thanks everyone who joined and listened in from the audience.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye
Everybody.
then. Have a
Thanks a
great
lot.
rest of the weekend.